TPC. Ghost Cobb is here. Sorry about that. And as you can tell by the thumbnail and by the opening, what the answer was, this is a VR to Mr. Ronin Piper. Ronin Piper has picked 4 movies to pick from. You had to watch a movie and you had to talk about one. Well, I picked one, and the one that I picked was Cool Hand Luke. Obviously, you could tell by the opening. I'm so sorry. I did not sleep well last night. Again. Couple mud as always. Not smoking them in the house. Oh, man. So, Cool Hand Luke. A fantastic movie. I liked several parts of the movie. I love the part where he's sitting there on his bunk with the banjo. That's a really cool scene. I really like the scene where the guy with the mirror glasses is just riding around watching the chain gang with a shotgun, and they show that shot of Paul Newman and the rest of the inmates in the field working. That's a really cool shot. You also got to remember, folks, that this movie was made in 1967. That was even long before I was born. It's a classic. And to think about this, it was a young Paul Newman, George Kennedy, Dennis Hopper were all in this movie. So, I mean, you've got 3 guys that were really just getting started when that movie came out and went on to magnificent careers. I mean, Dennis Hopper did a lot of cool stuff. He was in the Speeds. He had done a bunch of cool stuff. George Kennedy did a lot of cool stuff. Up to even in the late 90s when he was in the movie with the late Patrick Swayze, Roadhouse. He was one of the goons. And, of course, Paul Newman. Paul Newman was great up to the end as well. I mean, Paul Newman at a very older age did the movie with the great Tom Hanks in Road to Perdition, which I loved. Road to Perdition. That's a fantastic movie. If you kind of like gangster movies and old school stuff, that is a movie that you should watch if you have not seen it. I really liked the egg scene when he ate all the eggs. The 50 eggs, apparently, he ate. I thought it was really interesting because at one point in that shot, in that whole scene, he climbed up on a metal table in the mess hall and laid there. And he laid there like Jesus laid on the cross. His feet were crossed, his hands were out, his palms were up. I mean, to me, it was like a symbol of him sacrificing for the 50, to do the 50 eggs. Because that was a whole ordeal bet. I don't want to ruin the movie for you, and also, I kind of looked at it in the aspect of he had been through so much to that point that I think that was him making his peace. And I found that a very interesting viewpoint to do that scene that way. And then, of course, my favorite scene, which is the opening scene with him walking down the street with a pipe cutter cutting the heads off of parking meters. He wasn't stealing the money or anything. He was just cutting the heads off the parking meters. And he was just working his way down the street. It was cool. It was really, really cool. I liked Cool Hand Luke. It is a classic. It will never get old. I think that is a movie that every generation will appreciate. They may not appreciate it in their teen years, but I promise you, as they get older and they age and they mature, if they're a movie buff and they see this movie, they will love Paul Newman. and really appreciate what he has done as far as that goes. So, with that in mind, I'm going to close this out. Ronin Piper, thank you very much for the opportunity. I love your channel. I love the Cajun accent. When I come down, I expect crawfish and corn on the cob. I really do love your channel, man. You got great content. You're fun to watch. Very talented. The harmonica is phenomenal. If I pass on before you do, I would really appreciate you coming down here to Pennsylvania and playing that harmonica for me. That would be great. I would really, truly appreciate that. And I mean that sincerely. I love the harmonica. I have a lot of fond memories as a child with the harmonica. And when I hear that, it reminds me of that. When I grew up, the farm back in Pittsburgh, we had a feller whose name was George. I did a video on George. And if you want to hear the story about George, just go back to one of my Sunday chats. I think it's one of my Sunday chats I did. I talked about him. But, boy, he could make the harmonica sing. Holy cow, man. He could make that thing whistle like a bird. It was amazing. But it just reminds me of him and reminds me of the fond memories of my childhood there in Pittsburgh. So I just really like that. So in closing, as always, I love to do shout outs. So I'm going to do some shout outs. However, first, I have one more thing to get out of my system here. If you pull my name, Ronin, please do me a favor and send all the winnings to Luke of the Cave. Seeing that I picked Cool Hand Luke, it should be Luke of the Cave that gets the stuff. So send it to Cool Hand Luke of the Cave, and I would greatly appreciate it. If you would rather not do that, and you would rather send it to the raffle or something like that, just hit me up on Voxer under Ghost Cobb. Hit me up on Voxer, and we'll go from there with it. But my 3 shout-outs are, well, obviously Ronin Piper, Luke of the Cave, Olive Wood Piper, and Alienated Piper. Those 3 fellers there. If you have not subbed to those guys, please hit the button, go down into the basement, and their links are right next to their names. Just hit them and give them a sub. If you are a sub, please go back and visit, watch a video, and leave a wonderful comment. Comments are awesome. I love comments. Comments really warm my heart. They just make me feel good. They make me feel like what I'm doing is really, really worth it. And that's what matters, to be honest, So, thank you very much. So until we can get together, smoke a pipe, or have a good cigar, and a cup of mud, let all what you do be done out of love. Y'all take care. God bless.